2004, a Colorado detention officer is on his way to work when he sees a giant ball of light following his truck.
This thing kept coming, and flames were coming off of it. I didn't know what it was.
This valley is one of the strangest places on Earth, and I'm not kidding.
This is Mysteries at the National Parks. Great Sand Dunes National Park is located in southern Colorado, towering 750 feet above the valley floor. The ever-shifting dunes are the tallest in North America and are believed to be 500,000 years old. They are dwarfed only by the lush Sangre de Cristo Mountains, forming a rocky wall around the eastern perimeter of the San Luis Valley. Despite its natural beauty, the park is also home to disturbing encounters and gruesome events that have mystified visitors for centuries. December 2014, on a large ranch outside the park, cattle rancher Thomas Miller is sleeping.
I was in bed. It was about the middle of the night. Something woke me up.
Thomas suddenly notices a strange light shining inside his bedroom.
I see these two like red balls out the window, and they were glowing.
Terrified, Thomas suddenly becomes aware of a strange sensation passing through him.
It was like goosebumps going all the way through your body. I really didn't know what was going on. And as soon as I seen them or they seen me, they just disappeared. I was scared.
Then suddenly, the bed begins to shake. Thomas is paralyzed and unable to move.
I was rigid. I had my hands to my side, and it stopped. And then a few minutes later, it started again. And the bed was vibrating, and then it stopped. Shook me up, all right.
What could explain the strange lights and the violent shaking of the bed? And how are they connected with the paralyzing sensations flowing through Thomas's body? Thomas is not the only one to have fallen victim to such phenomenon. Other residents in the area have also reported terrifying encounters with mysterious lights. 2004. Larry Messaline is driving down a county road west of the park. He's on his way to the Saguache County Sheriff's Office, where he works as a detention officer. Halfway to his destination, he suddenly notices a bright blue light behind him.
I just happened to look in my rearview mirror, and there it was. I was trying to count it off as being headlights or a tractor or anything, but this thing kept coming, and it seemed like it was following me.
Hoping to put more space between himself and the light, Larry speeds up. But the light also accelerates and begins to close in on his truck. Only then does he get a good look at what's been chasing him. Something he's never seen before.
It was really a big, huge sphere of blue flame. It was pretty good size, and it just, at that point, it was traveling fast.
Terrified, Larry desperately tries to outrun the menacing blue sphere.
I didn't know if it was a meteor. I didn't know what it was. I mean, it was just this blue sphere, and flames were coming off of it.
The flaming sphere follows him for miles, anticipating his every move. When suddenly, it changes course.
I pulled over, and it just shot over the top of me and went over the top of the mountain range. You're talking in the hundreds and hundreds of miles an hour. It freaked me out. It was definitely something that was strange and unusual. And I didn't know what could have caused this whole thing to take place.
What can possibly explain the object that chased Larry Messaline down a county road? And could it be connected to the strange lights that terrified Thomas Miller? Reports of such menacing lights have long been reported in the skies above the park.
The San Luis Valley, which is the greater area where the park is located, is very well known for light phenomena. We had sheriffs, law enforcement officers reporting lights that would chase them. We're talking about balls of light that seem to be intelligently controlled.
The abundance of these sightings is why local resident Judy Messaline built a watchtower near the park.
And all I can tell anybody is you need to look up once in a while, because it's amazing what goes on in that atmosphere up there. Just here, we've had 110 sightings since 2000. The majority of those sightings have been over in the area of the Great Sand Dunes. The entire valley is a hotspot.
Since building her watchtower, Judy has seen an increase in the number of strange lights over Great Sand Dunes National Park.
Most of them are these bizarre lights that just dance. I mean, they go here, there, I mean, just like that. All different colored lights. We've all put our heads together trying to understand what's happening. This valley is one of the strangest places on Earth, and I'm not kidding you.
What could explain this bizarre activity in the skies over Great Sand Dunes National Park? And why are residents and visitors being terrorized? Some believe the secret to this mystery may be revealed in a couple's terrifying encounter while camping in the park.
He didn't know what was happening. He thought it was the end of the world.
Great Sand Dunes National Park, nestled in the Rocky Mountains in south-central Colorado. It is 233 square miles of contrasting landscapes, from snow-capped mountains to arid, windswept deserts. Though some call it the quietest place in America, that silence is sometimes shattered by terrifying encounters. Inexplicable balls of fire and paralyzing lights have been reported harassing area residents. What could explain these bizarre events? July 2008. It's a cold, windy night outside Great Sand Dunes National Park. A couple is on a camping trip. They're sleeping when they are suddenly awoken by a strange, flashing light outside their tent.
It just seemed like it engulfed the whole tent. They wanted to see what was going on.
The couple step outside and are shocked by what they see. A strange ball of light hovers right in front of them.
They just thought that was really, really bizarre and very strange, and it frightened them.
To their astonishment, the ball of light seems to sense their presence.
They're like looking at this thing, and what are we looking at? What are we seeing here?
Suddenly, the ball of light undergoes a shocking transformation.
They can only describe it as a portal. And as they looked at this portal, these cowboys are riding horses, yelling. They thought it was the end of the world. They didn't know what was going to happen.
Too frightened to move or speak, the couple watch. When suddenly, the portal abruptly closes.
And they looked at each other and it's like, what did we just experience? What did we just see?
Is there an explanation for this frightening encounter? Some believe it may be evidence of secret government activity in the park.
The location of the San Luis Valley and the Dunes National Park is very interesting because less than a couple hours away, we have Colorado Springs, which is the home of the United States Air Force Academy. Then we have about 45 miles away on one of the edges of the valley, Dulce, New Mexico. There's a lot of people out there who theorize that the light activity we're seeing could be connected to actual experiments the military is conducting.
Maybe the military is doing something so top secret that it seems like something out of science fiction.
While some suspect classified military experiments, others believe the portal is far too advanced. and that a government program doesn't explain the area's mysterious past. When the first European explorers arrived, they were mesmerized by what they saw in the skies over the park.
Reports of strange lights and phenomena go back as far as the 1500s here at the dunes. Now in the 1600s, the Spanish explorers, including the Reverend Francisco and Don Diego de Vargas, reported seeing the same type of activity over the dunes in the surrounding area. Now these things were so impressive to them, it left them with this sense of just awe and amazement. They couldn't explain it. It persists, the same type of sightings to this day.
What can explain this mystery that has been unsolved for over 500 years? Could there be a clue in the bizarre cowboy apparition reported at Great Sand Dunes National Park? November 1997. A rancher comes across a gruesome sight.
It was laying on its side, and the whole side of its face was just cored out to the bone, and the eye socket was completely removed. But what the heck happened to this animal?
In Great Sand Dunes National Park, there are reports that strange lights in the sky have been terrifying local residents and visitors to the area. Many believe this phenomenon has existed since the first European explorers arrived here. What can explain this mystery, which has endured for over 500 years? Some believe that a series of inexplicable attacks in the area could provide a clue. November 30th, 1997. A cattle rancher walks through his field outside Great Sand Dunes National Park. He's looking for a stray calf that wandered away from its herd. As he moves deeper into the field, he makes a gruesome discovery. A dead calf whose body has been savagely mutilated.
It was an 8-month-old female calf that was laying on its side, and the whole side of its face was just cored out to the bone, and the eye socket was completely removed. Now, I can't imagine what the rancher thought when he first saw that, walking out and seeing this animal with those type of wounds and incisions.
With near surgical precision, all the flesh has been stripped away from the calf's right mandible. And a 10-inch diameter core has been drilled 18 inches deep into its body. More disturbing is the absence of any sign that it was killed by a predator.
Absolutely no marks, no bite marks, no claw marks, so here's just a dead animal. It's a big mystery. The rancher, I can imagine, is just in shock. What the heck happened to this animal? He has no idea if he has a defense against it, and he has no idea if whatever it did to the animal could actually do it to him or his family.
Many other ranchers in the area have also been terrorized by these grotesque and inexplicable mutilations.
Really upsets the ranchers. They really don't know what to do. They don't know how to defend themselves from it. So it's kind of a scary situation for them.
Since the 1970s, cattle mutilations have become so common that ranchers' livelihoods have been seriously threatened.
It was estimated there were about 10,000 different cases of animal mutilation from 1975 to 1979. This was an epidemic. Ranchers were losing millions of dollars in revenue. They needed help.
As the number of cattle mutilations continues to increase, the situation becomes more and more desperate. Finally, the FBI decides to launch an investigation.
It was called Operation Animal Mutilation. The FBI was completely baffled. They couldn't find evidence of animal predation. No chewing marks, no animal marks, no messy, bloody scene that you'd expect when an animal comes to eat. There was also no evidence of human involvement.
Although the FBI couldn't explain the cattle mutilations in the area, there is one clue that may explain this bizarre phenomenon.
These mutilations were often accompanied with light phenomena, orbs, that sometimes would appear just before or after an animal mutilation occurred.
Similar reports were made the night before this rancher found one of his calves, savagely mutilated near the park. Witnesses claim to have seen balls of lights in the sky.
The same night, there was a couple of motorists going down 17. They definitely saw something fly over that same area. Could those balls of light actually be associated with the animal mutilations? Well, I've done enough investigation to say, yeah, I think they are.
What can explain a possible link between the numerous cattle mutilations in the area and menacing lights in the sky above? Some believe the only explanation is an extraterrestrial presence in the park.
This area is often referred to as the Bermuda Triangle of the West. Some people theorize that extraterrestrials come in and out with stealth technology without being noticed.
Basically, an animal is picked up from location A and is taken to an unknown location, and the mutilation is done there. So who's ever doing it is not leaving any evidence.
Some of them had bones that were broken from the inside as if they'd been dropped from a very high altitude, as if a craft, maybe a UFO, had dropped them.
Further evidence is the shocking claim that micrometeorites, pebble-sized meteor fragments, have been found on the bodies of mutilated animals. For UFO investigator Debbie Ziegelmeyer, this suggests the presence of alien spacecraft.
I believe that a craft that has come from the atmosphere has entered into our atmosphere, and particles have fallen off of this craft and landed on the cow. So absolutely, I believe that extraterrestrials could be doing the mutilation of these animals.
If extraterrestrials are responsible for these mutilations, who are they and what do they want? The answer may reveal the park's most ancient secret and could explain why the area is such a hotspot of alleged UFO encounters.
They're here to study us. They're here to conduct experiments that might later be applied to humans.
Strange lights, mesmerizing and terrifying visitors have been reported in the skies above Great Sand Dunes National Park for centuries. Many believe they are UFOs and that an alien race could be responsible for thousands of cattle mutilations in the area. If true, who are these extraterrestrials and why are they here? An answer may be found in the legends of Native American tribes who for thousands of years have come to the area for worship.
It was a sacred place for them to come and pray and hunt and give thanks to the great Creator for everything they did.
Hopi legends say that thousands of years ago, a mysterious race called the Ant People rescued their tribes from a series of cataclysmic floods and earthquakes.
This was instigated by light activity in the skies, fireballs, that signaled them to go to this place where they were then taken underground and cared for by what they describe as the Ant People.
It is said that for several generations, the Ant People protected the indigenous tribes underground until the cataclysm stopped and it was safe to return to the surface and repopulate the earth. Who were the Ant People? Were they a technologically advanced race from another world? Strangely, the Navajo and Apache tribes also have stories of unusual visitors from the distant past.
Many Native Americans have accounts of people seeing seed pod type craft flying through the air. In the Navajo tradition, they believe that this is a signal of the star people coming to the earth.
Could these flying seed pods actually be alien spacecraft? Could they be the same as what's been reported in the skies above the park for centuries?
Well, the star people are the ones that come from the heavens down here, and it's extraterrestrials. And they come out of the ships and they do land here.
Why would an alien race like the Star People conduct experiments on cattle in Great Sand Dunes National Park? Many believe they're not here to study cattle, that ultimately they're here to study humans.
Well, the theory suggests because humans share a chromosome makeup that is so similar to bovine and other livestock that really they're here to study us. They're here to conduct experiments.
Some believe these alien experiments pose a real threat to humanity.
I personally don't believe that if aliens are visiting this planet that they're benevolent. They have their own agenda. We don't know what their agenda is.
Others disagree.
Let me ask you, would we still be here if they weren't for the good? If they were nasty, I don't think any of us would still be here.
It's claimed that Great Sand Dunes National Park is a gateway for aliens studying and terrifying residents and visitors alike. Many believe the park has held this dark secret for centuries, one that will continue here until the end of time.
If you were to ask me to describe the Great Sand Dunes National Park in one word, mystical.
You never know what you can find, what you can see when you come to the Great Sand Dunes.
The Great Sand Dunes is a phenomenal place. It's a mysterious place. I said, thank God we live here and we can visit it every day if we want.